Hi all, welcome to the next in the series, Understanding and Using Excel. This time we'll look at the procedure to freeze panes. Let's see what happens and how it works. In large worksheets, I sometimes have the problem that when I scroll down I lose the headings or the labels at the top of my spreadsheet. Also, if I scroll to the right, I lose track of what is in the leftmost column or columns. So we can use a command made available to me in Excel called freeze panes, and we'll see how it works. So here's a comment here. This large spreadsheet can be viewed more easily using the freeze panes command. The options I have are to freeze just the top row or just the left column. But as we'll see, we have a third and better option, which will be to choose a cell at the junction of a column and row and freeze around that cell, as you'll see in the demonstration. In other words, the cell that you should use, if you think of that as the fulcrum for the freezing, you'll soon get the knack of it. So first of all, we'll look at the View tab, and in the Windows group there is a command called freeze panes. There's a little drop arrow. When I click the drop arrow, it gives me three options: to freeze panes, to keep rows and columns visible while the rest of the worksheet scrolls based on the current cell selection, or I can freeze just the top row or just the first column. Now let's look at freezing the top row first. In this particular spreadsheet, I see that the top row is just a heading. So if I click on freeze top row and I scroll down, I see that I lose my labels. I've kept the top row, but I've lost the labels. So I'm going to unfreeze the panes by clicking on the drop arrow again and unfreeze, so I'm back where I started. Now everything will scroll. Click the drop arrow and freeze just the first column there, and this time if I scroll to the right, I'll see that I've kept the first column, which is fine, except what if I wanted to keep that column, and that column, and maybe the region as well, so we'll say the first four columns, and I also want to keep the labels here frozen. So what I need to do is to think of the cell that I need to freeze the panes around. Think of this as the fulcrum. So I'm going to choose this particular cell here, because what that will do, it will freeze the row above and it will also freeze the columns to the left. So that's the fulcrum. Now if I click on View, Freeze Panes, and I'll need to unfreeze the column first. I had that first column chosen. So what I'll do, freeze panes, and now freeze panes, and this time when I scroll down I keep the heading in row 5, the heading's in row 5, but the beauty about it is also that as I scroll to the right, I keep not only the headings at the top, but I also keep the columns to the left, because I chose that cell as the cell around which the columns and the rows are frozen. So that's how you can maintain an easily viewed spreadsheet where it's a large spreadsheet and you need to keep headings in rows or columns visible at all times. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, where there will be lots more hints, tips and tricks and procedures made available to you in Excel.